get into it. Coach Colin here, guys. What's going on? We got Sam Tripoli and Jacques Vallee. Pretty much the same type of guy. I mean, quite honestly. I mean, one has an accent that's very French, but they're very much in the same vein of thought. When you really break it down, it's just that one goes about it a little more rough, a little more brash, and the other goes about it very clinical like. Now, why I bring up these two people is because Joe Rogan and Sam Tripoli had a little bit of a debate over a cigar-shaped object, a UFO of sorts. And I'm going to show you that video. Again, Joe's going to have it. He's going to show it real small. I'm going to blow it up for you guys so you can see it a little closer, slow it down, all sorts of stuff. Now, the thing about these cigar-shaped UFOs is that Sam is kind of right. These things have been around for a long time. It's not out of the question. Now, Joe has an argument himself that he makes, an argument that I'll let you guys see in the clip. But I just wanted to bring up both clips because Jacques talks about cigar-shaped UFOs. Sam talks about cigar-shaped UFOs. But we get a very different reaction from Joe in either person. Now, I've done this before with Eddie Bravo, and I do this because Sam and Eddie are OGs. They're OGs. They're tinfoil alumni. They wear Speedos, hats, whatever they want when it comes to going deep. They're fine. They don't even need tinfoil, quite honestly. They're one of the few that can go into the deep skinny dipping if they really wanted to. But for some reason, it seems like Joe is a little, I don't know, he's a little dismissive when it comes to Eddie for sure. I've done episodes on it. I even asked Eddie directly about this whole thing. And it seems like he's doing the same thing to Sam throughout this episode. I just wanted to show you a little bit of two different reactions here. So we're going to start off with Jacques here, and then we're going to move over to Sam, and then I'm going to show you a whole bunch of stuff when it comes to cigar-shaped UFOs, because it's a thing. Let's go.
And people in the military, people in the intelligence community. And those are very valuable because they have instruments, to actually measure what they see on an F-18 and so on. And they're covered by radar and by AWACS and everything else. So we can rely on that. So scientists and, many people like the numerical aspect of it. I don't do that. I don't pretend to have access to that. I mean, we had access under Bigelow, and under Bass to some of that, including some of the classified things that had happened. But there is a much richer pool of data, which is, a friend tells me about a sighting in the country somewhere. I can go there, I can go see the people, and I can find out exactly what happened. And I continue to do that. And that's most of my data. And it's 10 times bigger than the stuff they talk about from the Pentagon. It's real data from that. And I don't need to have a clearance to go see the people and sit down. If I'm lucky, they'll invite me for lunch, and I can talk to the kids, I can talk to the wife, I can talk to the people who took care of the cattle, and they'll tell me. And that's where most of my information is really coming from. And it's not, it's just very much in your face, and it's consistent.
How consistent are the shapes of the crafts?
It's a tough question. Many of the descriptions have to do with discs.
And eggs as well,
different sizes. Some of them are very large. A number of descriptions have to do with, for a long time, with cigar-shaped objects, cylindrical and rounded at the end, sometimes with what people describe as windows that may just be openings with light, in the side of it. Doesn't have to be what we think of as a window. And then you have some irregular shapes, just balls of light that physicists interpret as maybe plasma, but plasma doesn't survive in the air, shouldn't survive in the air more than a minute maybe. But people have, seen some of those things for minutes and longer, long enough to take pictures of it, so on. And it's not necessarily glowing. It's not necessarily luminous the way, plasma would be. So we don't know what they are, and they've been reported all over the world. Again, there are, paintings of that kind of thing from the 18th century or the 17th century.
Yeah.
Paintings. Oh, we went deep into paintings the last episode. Now, you see, Joe's reaction to Jacques is very serious. It's very stoic. He's locked in. But Jacques is basically saying the same thing that Sam's saying. Now, of course, I'm going to take you over to the Sam Tripoli episode. And you know what? Can I just put out there, can we make a petition where Sam Tripoli or Eddie Bravo, they step in instead of Mike Baker 6 times a year? We just get Sam Tripoli 5 times a year. You know what I mean? Can I put that in action? Can we do something about that? Because it's out of hand, I gotta say. I'm just saying, I have a lot more fun when Sam's on the podcast, but I guess it's not about me. It's about, it's about spreading the narrative. The good old agency narrative. Here, let me pull up this Sam clip. Now, keep in mind, when he spoke to Jacques just now, this was more than 100 episodes ago. So it's a little while ago, right? So now Joe knows from a guy who's Jacques Vallee, very respected individual, very, has a lot of access, this individual. So he's telling him about cigar-shaped UFOs. Joe knows this, right? So now he's going to talk to Sam about it. Check this out.
Block that doesn't have a smart meter on it. She goes, holy shit, right? So what's really interesting about the Sacramento show, besides the big PG&E person or the whatever, is I'm outside on the balcony, right? I'm outside on the patio talking to everybody after the show, and this woman comes up to me and she goes, I live in paradise. I go, really? I go, what happens? She goes, I have to tell you this story. She goes, I was just chilling there, on her porch or something like that. And she looked up and she saw this silver cigar thing in the sky, right? The silver cigar thing. And she said lights were going back and forth. And this is right before the fires, back and forth. And then she said, suddenly the lights all just went boom. And then there were fires everywhere. And I stopped thinking about this story a long time ago. Then suddenly videos now are popping up all over Twitter. If you go to my Twitter, samtripoli.com, there's a video right now of a guy playing catch with his dog, and he throws the frisbee, and when the dog goes up to grab the frisbee, suddenly you see something just fly through the air that is a silver cigar looking thing.
Okay, let me see this video, because there was a time where Eddie Bravo and I got way too high and we thought that rods were flying through the air. We watched this documentary on rods. Do you remember rods?
I know.
Okay. You got into conspiracies a little later, son.
I've always been in conspiracies.
This was one of the dumb ones. This was a really dumb one. So there's these things that supposedly flew so fast through the sky that you could only see them in video footage. You couldn't see them with the naked eye. Turns out what it was bugs flying quickly close through where the lens is, and it's a video artifact. So it stretches these bugs out and makes them look like rods that are flying through the air. It's just because the video's not that good. So there was a show, I forget the show, something Finding Monsters or something like that on the History Channel, I believe. One of those shows. You know those shows?
Yeah.
And they were trying to find out what rods were. So they set up cameras, just try to see if they could capture them and film. And then they set up a super high-speed camera in the same location. And they did it over a little campfire so that bugs would be flying around. And I think it was a campfire. Whatever, some kind of a light where bugs were flying around, and then they were filming it. And then on the high-speed camera, you could clearly see it was bugs. But on the low-speed camera, it looked like aliens. These things are long, tubular things that we've never identified flying through the air, but it's just video artifacts.
Okay. This thing slows it down. It doesn't look like a bug.
Let's see it.
Did you find it? It was one of the newer videos I put out.
What do you think it is? You think it's a UFO?
Well, I don't believe in UFOs.
Oh, well then, if it's...
Do you know that we've had flying crafts that have been going 200 miles an hour before the Civil War?
We could talk
Here
about
it is.
Give me a moment. We'll talk about that.
Okay, so
It isn't real.
Okay.
Real time,
Here's a dog.
Zoomed in. And
Bro, that dog's gangster. That's a good steep
so you
ledge.
see it? Okay.
Okay, let me see it again.
And then just let it play because it shows you what it is.
Okay.
That looks like a bug.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm going to show you this clip again. It's going to look a lot better than this.
Sam, that's a bug.
You think that's a bug? Mm-hmm. Okay, he's going to slow it down. You
I think it's a fast-moving bug. Do you think that there's that thing behind it? Is that, here's the thing, is that the inability of the video to catch it? Because it doesn't seem like it, because the video is catching it. I don't know enough about high-speed filming or about what this is, the slow-mo filming. Man, the blur behind it's weird.
What blurs?
You know, where it looks like it almost has like a jet coming out of the back?
No.
I
What do you
think
think
that's
that
all
is?
part of it.
What do you think that is, Jamie?
It's a bug.
Right, but what's that trail behind
You think
it?
that's a
Wings.
bug?
The wings. Looks like a.
Yeah, as it's moving fast, so it's stretched out as a video artifact, just like the rods thing. Yeah.
I wouldn't even say a full video art. It just looks like the wings of a bug, and it's like there's the body, and it's got some giant wings.
I don't.
Yeah, but
believe
what kind of
that.
bug looks like that?
And what kind
I'll
of bug
show you.
moves that
I have
fast?
them here.
But I mean, I think it's a perspective thing. I think the bug moves. Bugs move pretty fucking fast.
Yeah,
dude.
but
bugs moving fast in the right direction.
and that far
'Cause it's
away,
little.
you're going to see it
Because
that far
it's
away.
little. It's so little that as it passes by, it gets small so quickly and gives you the illusion of more speed. Because it's so little, it disappears quickly. Like, you ever see a mosquito and you see it floating through the air and then it's gone? You can't find the because there's too little.
Right, I
so
understand
they just,
that.
Once they go a certain distance away, it's like they went a
But
million
look
miles
how far
away.
away that is. I mean, that is way
I think
far
it went
away.
right over the camera. That's what I think happened. I think it went right over the camera, and I think within a couple of seconds, like, look where it goes. It's like right.
It's gone.
I think it's right over the camera in the right direction, and I think it only takes like, you know, a millisecond for a fucking bug to do that.
I think it's something.
Let's see it again. Watch. Here it goes.
Stop it at its farthest point.
Let's just not stop it. There it goes.
It's already gone.
It's already gone. Yeah, that is pretty fast. Okay, I changed my mind. It's alien. Maybe, you know, maybe there's a type of bug that I'm not aware of that moves really fast, though.
But
Where
you
is
know-
that? Where is that supposedly?
I don't know where that comes from.
That means a lot. Like, we need to know where it is.
But they've had crafts since before the Civil War. They were building crafts that went 200 miles an hour.
Okay, who's they, and where'd
Well,
you
the
hear about
US
this?
government-
Before the Civil War.
Yeah, yeah.
So before 1865.
Yeah.
They had crafts.
Yes.
That could go 200 miles an hour in
Yes.
the air.
Yes.
Who made them?
You could look it up. Pre-Civil War aircrafts. There was a bunch of like German scientists in America that were working with the U.S. government.
So this predates Orville Wright.
I'm just telling you, bro.
Right, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
know. I don't know dates.
I think it does, right? Isn't Orville and Wilbur Wright, isn't that the end of the 1800s? When was that? Well, you know what? I love that. You can just ask your phone. I'll ask my phone.
I love it. Go on ChatGPT.
When did Orville and Wilbur Wright fly the first plane? 1903. So you're telling me that in 1865,
Yep. I'm telling you.
in 1865, they had
multiple shows
flying
on it.
crafts. Well, as long as you've done multiple shows on it, it
Brother,
must be true.
I'm the truth, okay?
Where did you hear this?
I had two guys, Joseph P. Farrell was on, and he's like amazing. And he was breaking down that there were
What is Joseph P. Farrell's area of expertise?
hidden history. He does a lot in religion, particularly.
Is he self-taught?
No, he's really a great interview, man.
I believe you.
I
But
mean,
is
he's
he
a great.
self-taught? Does he have like a
Will you look it up real
traditional
quick? Yeah,
education in this stuff, or is
yeah.
it just
He's written like 1,000 books on it.
1,000?
That's a lot of books, dude. I can barely read one book. I'm stuck on Alexander II right now.
And what is he saying?
He's saying that in the pre-Civil War and during the Civil War, they had crafts that were traveling at 200 miles an hour.
Okay, and
You can find pictures of it on the internet.
well, as long as he has pictures.
Well,
on
there's
the
drawings,
internet,
dude. Someone took time.
As long as it's drawings.
Come
it
on,
must be
man.
real.
Well, Jamie, you're leaving me here. Hang
No,
in
he'll
here.
get you.
I haven't
He'll
found
get
it. I'm
you.
logging.
It's got to be legit.
It's there.
It sounds so legit.
Will you look up
Why
tinfoil
would
hat,
they
Joseph P.
wait
Farrell?
so many years before they flew the first very primitive plane that could barely get off the ground, and credit those guys with developing the first
You
plane?
didn't say plane. You said aircraft.
Oh, that's true.
Thank you.
Oh, so is it like a blimp?
I'm trying to dig down.
Listen to Jamie getting all pissy.
I'm just saying, it could not be a plane.
Mom, Dad.
Jamie finally on the right side of history, you know? Finally. But I let this run a little long. I know this is out of the topic of cigar-shaped things, but I really do think about stuff like this quite a bit because, you know, Joe poses the question, why would they credit these guys and why would they wait so long and show this very primitive plane? But also, and yeah, this is with my expertise, when he was talking to Diana Pasolka, she's like, the people who are really making history never get their credit because it's always people that you don't know who are actually doing the things. And they kind of agreed on that. They were like, yeah, that makes sense. I think that is accurate. I think there's a lot of technology that we get late. And I think that shouldn't say like that doesn't super match up, but I think it matches up. I think there's a lot of stuff where you see it in a movie, especially if you grew up in the 70s, 80s. If you grew up watching movies back then, you could probably, if you're out there, you could probably think of a bunch of stuff you saw in movies that in the 90s and early 2000s were real out of nowhere, right? You probably have a lot more examples of that than we do because now we're living through the age of those things coming true, robots and, you know, brain insertions and all this stuff. And the things that were in movies that haven't been created, when they are created, it's going to be terrifying. Like, what's that movie called? Is it called Johnny Numeric? Johnny Numeric was with Keanu Reeves, where they were like doing like real like insertion of tech and stuff. It was into your body and stuff. It was really weird. But I was just saying, I think they release stuff a lot. I think when they give us something, there is a higher tech version of it already available. I think that happened with cell phones. I think that's happening right now with Neuralink. I think that's happening right now with AI. I think there's a bunch of things that just, when we get them, we're getting the consumer small version that makes us accepting of this technology. And then military, you know, who like say they, the elite, whatever you want to say. I say military a lot of times. Military is going to have access to this stuff way before we do. Yeah, I just think that. But also, you know what makes me also believe, Sam? You know, when I see stuff like this, I'm starting to question this stuff. Because I look at this building and I'm like, if I looked at you and I said, what year was this building built in? For those of you that know what building this is, you're going to obviously know what it is. But when you look at a building like this, it's like, it's so high tech. It's so well done. It's so incredible. But then all of a sudden, when somebody tells you it was done in 1846, you're like, what? Huh? They did this in 1846? And we've become real accepting of that. That just things like this were just built. Just guys, and they were just walking up with their hats, and they're like, okay, here we go. All right. This piece is going to go up there. Yeah, okay. All right. There's a pillar. Okay, just one pillar? Just one? That's just one piece? Oh, yeah, it's just one piece. Me and the guys are going to just get the rope. Yeah, just put it up. Yeah, right there. And just put it around there. What? What? They did that in 1846? I don't know, man. And then you see a building like this, you're like, wow, this is spectacular. And then someone's like, yeah, 1888, no problem. What are you talking about? I don't know. So when Sam says they had craft that were flying that fast, it's like, maybe. I don't know. I'm really not buying the idea that everyone who's not us was just so primitive and just didn't have it like we do. Oh, we're just the smartest. Us who eat the poison and, you know, and are constantly us. We're the smart ones. Everybody else is just like, I don't know. I think they could have had a craft that was flying that fast, and then they give you this regular plane, and they let you know, listen, planes are only at that That's what a plane is right now. Meanwhile, they have something that's operating much faster. I think that's fully possible. Fully possible. Again, we can't really comprehend what tech they have right now. I mean, some of the UFOs that we see, there's speculations that it's American technology. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then once you throw in the occult and what Jack Parsons was doing, creating rockets, it's like, why couldn't another guy who's gonna never be named in history, why couldn't he do that? With Jack was able to do it with rockets. Why wasn't someone else able to do it with aircrafts? And why would they give people why would they give a person that type of technology right off the bat? This is what planes do, ladies and gentlemen. They weren't ready for any of that. Keep them behind, obviously. I don't know. Again, I'm just going on and on here, but let's move on to the video that Sam was talking about. Let's get it nice and big for you guys. Okay. Let's get it nice and big. It's going to be slowed down. It's going to get turned black and white. There's a whole bunch of things. Very cute dog. Let's jump right in. Let's go.
Ready. Steady. Ooh.
Okay, so we're going to keep going here, right? It's slowing down. They're showing you, see, they slowed it down, brought it back. Now they're going to show it again. That whole thing. Do it again. Let me freeze it. That's not a bug. It's not a bug, and it didn't, let me, so you guys have a proper perspective here. I'll shrink it down a little bit. It's not a bug, and it didn't come from above the camera like Joe's saying. It clearly came from over here, like sky. It didn't come from up here, because that's where it would have to be if it was right atop the camera, right? So let's just bring this back a little bit. And you know what? Let's slow it down. I can slow it down on here. Yeah, let's slow it down. Half the speed. Let's go. Right? There it is. Right? That's not a bug, and that's not coming. That's coming from somewhere else through the skies. And that's if we're going on the premise that this is real. Okay? I know there's some people where it's like AI is everything now. That it's definitely not a bug. Jamie's like, oh, you can see the wings. What wings can you see on this thing? What wings? Let me slow it down even more. Can I slow it down more? Yeah. Let's slow it down even more. What wings are we seeing, guys? Come on. What are we talking about here? Coming. What wings? It clearly came from over here. Right? What wings are you seeing? Definitely. And then they're rewinding it again. Then I think they bring it into black and white. Pretty sure. But again, okay, here it is, black and white now. And again, some of you might be on Joe's side. I get it. You know? You're drinking the agency Kool-Aid. It's all good. Right? That's just, I don't know. I don't even know the benefit of putting it in black and white, but it definitely doesn't look like a bug. Not to me. And they're rewinding it. It's clearly coming from somewhere down there. That's not, look, and then it kind of disappears. So it's like going through a cloud coming out. So, I mean, it's definitely not a bug. That's just me. Nothing about that thing looks like a bug. Nothing. It's not moving around like a bug. It has no wings that you can see. I mean, this is the slowed down of the slowed down. This is as slow as you're going to see it. This is as many. That's not a bug. And again, going back to what I said or what I showed you, Joe already knows that this is a thing because he talked to one of the world's experts about it and they told him it was. But yet when it's Sam, it's like, I don't know, Sam. Sam has interviews he's done, this, that. You know, I was talking about it with someone who subscribes to the show, one of my friends. I mean, you reach out to me on X, I'm probably going to answer you, right? Especially if we're just going to like talk about like wild stuff like this. I know that's going to bring out some crazy people. This is crazy people, but you see if you can keep up with me. But it feels like what I said to him, because we were talking about the Sam Tripoli episode, and we were like, it's the same thing with Eddie Bravo. It's like this weird dismissive thing that happens when these guys are on the show, and maybe it's because they're friends for a long time. Maybe that's just the comedic dynamic that they keep, Again, I asked Eddie about it. He said, nah, he's like, you're not seeing me on the show because I don't want to be on the show. He's like, it's me. If you're not seeing me, it's because of me. I was like, okay, makes sense. Eddie is a super busy guy. If you ever check out his social media, he's always working, always working. So that makes sense. But then he's doing the exact same thing to Sam now. It's almost like he uses these guys as a means of seeming like he's not crazy. It's almost like he uses them as a means to seem stable and not crazy. Like, look, what do you mean? There's a conspiracy guy on and I shot him down left and right. What do you mean? I'm fine. It's so odd. It's odd, man. It's a very sharp difference. And there's only 2 people that this happens with in JRE history. Actually, there's one other guy as well. Little, AJ as well. But AJ's not like Sam and Eddie. He hasn't been on the show as much, not nearly as much, right? He only does this with Sam and Eddie. The only 2 people he does this with. It's weird. It's very weird. I would love to know what Sam thinks about it. I have to reach out to him, try and get him on the show. I definitely want to do a long form interview with Sam Tripoli. Let's see. This is another one. Showing another one. Let's slow it down. Super slow it down. Now these again, I'm going to show you one story. Oh, just so you know, I'm going to show you one story that's wild. A real old story. It happened in Colorado, I think back in 1995. I can't believe I didn't even mention this. This is a wild story. But I'll show you this little footage first. Let's see. I don't need that sound going. Let's see. They're pointing at lightning. That's the only reason they're filming, because they're seeing lightning and they're hearing thunder. And then all of a sudden, something just like zips by them. Right? It's one of those things where if I look away for a second, it'll be done. And I'm trying to catch it. There it is. There it is. So you're seeing it right there, right? Same type of thing. Now, you did see lightning. Does that look like lightning? Yeah, not really to me. I mean, what lightning moves like that, even if it was behind the clouds, right? It's just another one of these cigar-shaped appearances that happen. Now, let's jump into... Oh, this is another one. Let me just show you another one.
Cigar-shaped UFO was seen flying over Oceanside, California, which has recently turned into a UFO hotspot. And according to the witness, the UFO was about 1,000 yards from the coastline. I don't know, guys. I've never seen a blimp fly over the ocean. Have you? Cigar-shaped UFO.
So I only show all these little bits of footage because there's just so many people who have reported seeing these. This is another one. Before I get to that crazy story, let's say crazy stories coming up. So this is like this is very interesting footage. This is not the same footage that you just saw a second ago. This is different footage. Something flying through the air. Is there any audio on this? Yeah, of course. And so look, it's tilting as it's going. Right? So this is very odd. It's tilting more and more. There's been many, many sightings, many reports of things like this. And then they got it from another angle. This is when it's super zoomed in. Doesn't really need to be. Doesn't do it justice when it's super zoomed in. Then they get it at another angle that you'll see in a second. This is a very weird angle too. And it kind of shows what it looks like in regards to it being mechanical, I think. So here, let's get to it. Where is it? There it is. So that was the angle that they showed. But the problem is that this is a still, whereas they just had video the whole time, and then all of a sudden it becomes a still. you get a little wary when you see things like that. But again, just cigar-shaped things. And this video, here, check out what this video is called. Top 12, the best cigar-shaped UFO footage ever, must see 2015. You know how crazy it was when I looked at this video and it's 10 years old? And then I realized 10 years ago was only 2015. Wow. I don't know about you. If you were born in the 80s like me, when you hear 15 years ago, you're like, oh, like 95? No, like 2015. It's going by too fast. It's all going by too fast. There's more of these things. Like there's just so many different clips of people reporting these wild looking shapes through the sky. Check this one out. Right? And you can look at that and you can be like, nah. You know, the problem is with this, you can say anything's fake, right? But remember, this video is 10 years old, so don't bring me that AI stuff. Not with this video, right? You got Photoshop back then. You had Adobe After Effects. You had things like that. But you definitely didn't have AI where you could just make this very easily. So, again, I'm only showing you this just to show you that there is a whole bunch of cigar-shaped craft out there. Let's get to the wild one. This has to do with a dude named Tim Edwards. You ever heard of Tim Edwards of Colorado? This is very interesting stuff. I got 3 clips to show you in this one. The first one here is just Tim, pretty much the discovery he made. Listen to this.
It was just another ordinary day in Salida, Colorado. Tim Edwards' restaurant was closed for the afternoon, and he was working on his new home with his 6-year-old daughter, Brandy. And that's when this ordinary Sunday became extraordinary.
We were probably out here a couple minutes. Brandy started saying, Daddy, there's something up in the sky. I didn't pay attention to her. Again, she said, Daddy, there's something up in the sky. And I still am paying attention to her. And finally, he says, Daddy, there's something in the sky. I looked up, and the sun was just on this side of the gutter here, August 27th, so we were protected from the sun here.
This is what Tim saw. You're watching the actual videotape he recorded that day.
Dad, can a spaceship grow bigger like that? Huh? Huh?
Uh-huh.
It could.
Tim taped the object for more than an hour. His father also saw it.
I says, my gosh, what is that thing? And to me it appeared as a long pencil-like aluminum foil triangle object in the sky, moving erratic, but staying just north and west of the sun.
Salida means gateway. Indian legend has it that this area was a window to other worlds. In recent years, ufologists have echoed those sentiments, saying in essence that Salida is a stargate, a gateway for beings from other worlds.
We've seen 3 lights over here.
Since Tim's sighting, UFO watchers have converged on this tiny town. They are especially excited for a couple of reasons.
Number one, it happened during the day, and we just don't have that many sightings that are captured on tape during the day. Number two, it's a large cylindrical or cigar-shaped object, and there's not a lot of those seen, and there's not a lot of video footage of those available.
Similar sightings were reported in Sacramento on August 21st, in Grand Junction, Colorado, the morning of Tim's sighting, and in Boulder, Colorado, on August 27th and 28th, by 7 different witnesses. All described what they say was a cylindrical-shaped craft.
Now that's the real trip of this. Not only his footage is also a trip because this is not like the footage we get today, where it's just like, we don't know what this is. This is clearly, it took a different amount of effort to take a video, let alone to doctor a video back in 95. It took some real, first off, this guy had to run and get a camera. He didn't pull out a phone. You're thinking he just went like this? No, he didn't do that. He had to run in and get a camera. And he had to go, okay, whoa, where is it? Are you kidding me? The camcorder? The old dad cam? He had to go grab his dad cam and then get up there, and he had to keep, it's not like holding one of these. He's holding something that's probably like 3 pounds, 4 pounds. Metal back then. Plastic. Get out of here. Metal back then. He's holding it. for an hour just looking at this thing. And then you're going to tell me that there was a bunch of other ones all around the same time, not even that crazy far from each other. Like, I don't know, man. It's just this is a wild one. I've never heard of this. And then there are people saying it's like a mile long. Here's another clip, because they actually bring the is this the second clip? Okay, listen. We'll go to, the test footage. Is this the test footage? Let's go to the test footage first. Just want to go straight to the test footage. No. Okay, I'll play another minute clip of him talking about it. Nah, screw it. We're going to the test footage. I'm getting excited here. Okay, go to the test footage. Check this out.
Looking up in the sky, and that's the gutter.
The tape has been
Of course, that's how fast I have it going. Okay, guys? Of course I do. Here's normal speed.
sent to several labs around the country, including Village Labs in Tempe. That's where computer scientist Jim Delatoso spent more than a month going over the video, frame by frame.
What we can do is analyze the edges of that object and the edges of that object. This is a very large object, about a mile long. It's very high altitude, 70 or 80,000 feet.
Delatoso believes what Edwards saw is a UFO. As for Tim Edwards, he says he doesn't need a high-tech lab to confirm what he saw is real. He's known it since that August afternoon when he first looked up into the sky.
I am 100% convinced this is a craft from another world. There's no doubt in my mind, and this will come out in the lab, no doubt.
There ain't no little airplane that moves 5 miles in 2 seconds. I know, that's what it is. But it's moved more than 5 miles. It moved over that part of the sky there. It probably moved 500. It probably moved 100 miles in a matter of a second or two.
Huh? Dad, can a spaceship grow bigger like that? Huh?
Uh-huh.
So you think you're going to convince me that this guy's kid was on it too? The kid is even like, hey, spaceship, I see the... Come on, man. The kid is seeing it. His dad's seeing it. He's filming it. This is for me, this is the longest UFO footage I have ever seen in my life. I've never seen UFO footage this long before. I wish we had the whole unedited hour.
Dad, can a spaceship grow bigger like that? Huh? Huh?
Uh-huh.
It could.
You can't fake a kid asking annoying questions like that. You know? You can't fake it. You can't fake it. You know how hard that's what kids do. You're trying to film a UFO and your kid's like, huh? 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 Are you kidding? That's what they do. That is an authentic kid right there. Just asking ridiculous questions while you're trying to make history. That's how they do it. That's how they do it.
Take the thing off the you go.
So this is a very, again, it's very odd. Let's play this. Let's go back to this clip now. But I just had to show you that test footage. Because again, it's like you're looking at it and you're saying, well, this could be this could be that. They actually had the footage tested by that guy. And yeah, you know, he has that wacky setup that you can only get back in 1995. That room of computers that guy was in probably cost him $1 million. $1 million for floppy disk material, you know what I mean? For floppy disk equipment, you know?
I went down to the local paper and showed them, and then
They interviewed me, and that made the front page headlines the following day. I went down to the local radio station, and they put it on the AP Newswire, and all the Denver media, CBS, NBC, and ABC, contacted me the following day, and all came up and did stories on it with Channel 4, CBS, doing follow-up stories on the lab analysis and testimony of witnesses and documentation on the craft. I believe it was about a mile long. I stated in the paper the following day that if it would have landed, it would have took out Salida, at least the business district, which is about 16 blocks. So,
Man, and that's where the video ends. Very in-depth video. Let me show you the title of this one. Daylight sighting of mile-long cigar-shaped UFO filmed by Tim Edwards, Colorado, 1995. Eyes on Cinema. This video's from 2 years ago, but the whole thing happened August 27th. Is that today? Is that today? Wow. What? Oh my gosh. I did not plan that. That is wild. Wow. It happened today. Holy. Take a look out your window, folks. Go outside and tell me what you see. Within this, there were a couple of people, not a lot. There were some people that actually knew Tim in the comment section, which I found very interesting. Tim worked in the Colorado Department of Corrections when he passed. He was an honest man, hard worker. He gave me a copy of this video in one of his favorite books on this subject. I've never doubted the sighting for 1 second. R.I.P. Tim. Another person was like, Tim was my friend. He died about 2 years ago at this barbecue of a heart attack. He bought sun filters and made many more videos. Smart. He didn't believe in them prior to this. True. So there's a couple people who actually vouch for him as being a pretty hard worker and, a good guy, all things considered. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. I was going to go on a whole bunch of other material, which I can just play while we're here. But I mean, that footage is the most compelling to me. Way more compelling than this. This is like China. This is what happened in China recently. But to know that it was just a regular guy, and back then, they're just talking about this little thing here. That could be a shooting star. It could be a comet. But that guy, Tim, he did that in a time where, again, you needed to put real effort in to getting a camera, period. Filming something, period. It wasn't second nature to us like it is today. Then on top of that, he didn't come from this place where attention was the main currency of likes and all this stuff. There was no structure, no poisonous structure set up like that yet. So when he did that, it was completely because he saw something that was completely alien to him. And that was it. That was it. Here's a little footage really quick. This is what the bugs look like. Just going back to what Rogan said, this is what it looks like when bugs actually fly by something. Here, check this out. Now, somebody's claiming this is a UFO as well. I know it kind of looks weird. But if anything's bugs, it's something like this. This is a camera that's at the corner of a house. So obviously there's a lot of bugs. There's spider webs. There's light. There's all these different things to actually attract bugs. In Tim's situation, there was no chance those were bugs. And honestly, I'll be honest, in Sam's situation that he's talking about here, there's no chance those are bugs either. There's no real chance of that. I mean, again, I'm not saying there's no bugs where they are right now. Obviously there are. They look like they're on top of a mountain. But it wasn't set up in a way, and even in what Joe Rogan was talking about when he was referring to bugs, he was talking about a video that he watched. He basically watched a propaganda video, and he's like, oh, this is real. Because think about it. He watched a video where they set up a campfire, they put cameras around, and then bugs flew by, and that's the explanation for everything from now on. That's crazy. I'm about to do a video on the Peruvian mummies that were found. I talked to Christina Gomez, if you watched the interview, and she had this whole breakdown of how they tried to make it seem like all of the mummies were fake. And they did it in very much a way like Rogan is trying to position that whole rods and bugs theory, where it's just like, well, I saw this one thing, they were bugs, so all other things are bugs from now on. This was in the 90s. This is in 2025. Same thing to me. That's a crazy way of looking at things. Crazy. And with the Peruvian mummies, they did the exact same thing. They found one doll that looked like a Peruvian mummy. They studied it, found out it was a doll, and then they said every other body that's available is also a doll. But then they also said, give them to us now. Very interesting stuff. I'm going to be doing that episode very, very soon. But I just wanted to do this, man. Free the boy Sam Tripoli. Free Eddie and free Sam Tripoli. We just need to get an episode with both of those guys on the podcast. Cornering Joe. And you know what? No Jamie in that episode. Me. I know how to work all the equipment. You get me. I'm taking Jamie's place. You get Sam, you get Eddie, and they just go. We need to bring that old school Joe Rogan back. Those two together can shake him back into the old school Joe Rogan. Kidding, of course. This is an amazing show. But anyways, I just thought I would make that episode because there's a lot of cigar-shaped stuff going on, and I wouldn't doubt what Sam has shown us. You can't doubt Sam just because he's Sam. You should actually kind of believe Sam. Again, Jacques and Sam, they would connect on so many things if they sat down and talked. You can't act like Jacques is like head and shoulders just above Sam Tripoli. You really can't. I know some people are laughing as I say that. You really can't, though. You have to think about it. Sam Tripoli does a lot of interviews. He talks to a lot of different people. All those people have done an amazing research. And when you do podcasts like we do podcasts, like Joe does a podcast, you get this wild education on so many different things. Sam has been doing that for years and years and years. And he has various podcasts where he talks about stuff like that. So, how are you going to listen to Jacques Vallee talk about cigar-shaped things? And he's just like, yeah, and I go to the farm where the guy saw it and he tells me about it. And Joe's like, oh, wow, what farm was that? But you hear Sam talk about it, he's like, oh, I talked to a guy who's, done all this research. And it's like, I don't know, man. I'm open. So I get closed-minded on some things or some evil things that I get closed-minded about. But I'm very open when it comes to listening to people's theories. I mean, listen, you know how deep it goes with me. This is probably be a Patreon episode eventually. Okay. Because there's going to be a lot of stuff on Patreon. But I've even dabbled in the theory that mountains are petrified gigantic trees. I know. You don't like that. Okay. I'm just saying some mountains, they go up and they're flat. I don't know. Some people are saying that they're trees. Some people are saying they're petrified wood. Hey, I'm open. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, guys, just wanted to bring you that episode. I am out of here. The channel's safe. We're safe, ladies and gentlemen, for now.